I didn't see too much from the yesterday.
Well, like I said,
Okay.
the only way I've seen from it is the page that's like.
Alright, I'm going on mute.
Alright.
I'm reading for the
You're just moments away from a brand new episode of WTF Nations Radio's Pop Culture Warrior, hosted by the dynamic duo CQ and Radar.
Else we've got
Pop Culture Warrior is your number one source for all things entertainment. If it's happening in TV, movies, video games, or comedy, they're all over it. And don't forget to say hi in the comments below. And while you're at it, let the boys know what you think and what you'd like to hear them talk about. Now strap in and get comfortable, because you're in for one hell of a ride. This is Pop Culture Warrior. Shots.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Welcome, one and all. Today is October the 20th, 2020, and this is episode 35 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I, as the little box says, am CQ. I'm your pop culture director, and with me as always is our very own stagehand. You know, the guy in the bubble. He's the guy that we can't do the show without. Everybody, welcome Mr. Radar.
Hey, what's up?
What's going, buddy? How you doing, man?
What's going, man?
It's
Fucking
Tuesday.
Yeah, and we got a fucking amazing guest tonight.
Oh my god, I'm super excited. This is gonna be so awesome.
Stoked. I'm so stoked because, like, you know, I got a job. I got a real life job.
Sure.
And I go in there, and usually I'm like, oh yeah, we're talking to so and so tonight. They're like, who's that? And I'm like, it's a person. Don't you worry about it.
It's a guy. He does a thing.
Right. And you know, and every now and again, you know, I can say it's a real person. But when I was like, yeah, I gotta go. We got Louie Anderson on tonight. They're like, Louie Anderson. Why does I know that name? I'm like, the comedian. They're like, holy shit, you're talking to him? I'm like, well, yeah.
By proxy, sure.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I got a mic. I can talk to you.
Dude, Louie Anderson. Guys, if you are here and you're listening, we got Louie Anderson coming on the show. The guy is a legend in comedy, 30-plus year in movies, TV. He's a multifaceted book writer. I mean, he's an author. I mean, this guy does it all. He's an enormous talent, pun intended. And yeah, I'm super excited to get to talk to him later. It's going to be a phenomenal interview. So I'm super, super, super excited for that later today.
So fucking stoked. But and as much as I love Louie Anderson, I love his stuff. I mean, like, growing up in the '90s, you almost had to. Everyone who grew like, you know, in your late 30s, early 40s and up knows Louie Anderson.
Sure.
And a lot of kids, you know, my kids know him. I make them watch his stuff.
Yeah.
But I do have a shout out to give to Alf Company, 58 Trans.
Okay.
They graduated AIT today, and Private Radar is in that group, and I had to give him a little shout out today. I'm real proud of him.
Private Radar, everybody! Shout out to Private Radar. What's up, buddy?
Radar.
He's doing his thing. He got his duty station, right?
Yeah, he's going to Grafenvohr.
Grafenwehr. I love Grafenwehr.
You've been down that area.
I've spent some time. I've spent some time in Hohensfeld, Grafenwehr, Lohnsteil. You know, the whole nine. I had all the schnitzels. It was a good time. It's a good time. My last go through, I got shot and went through the hospital there. Not the best time, but we did tons of training out there in Hohensfeld and Grafenwehr, and it was some of the best times of my life. Even though it was really sucky. For being in the German forest in the winter is not fun for training. But
he'll figure that shit out, because I think he flies out on like Thursday.
Yeah.
He was supposed to fly out on like Saturday morning, I think, and now they're flying out Saturday. They're not, you know, they don't get to come home anymore.
No, not
because of the Rona.
Not because of the Ronas. I know it firsthand. What's his job? What's his job?
He's an 88 Mike.
88 Mike. That's truck driver, right?
Yeah.
Nice. I should say transportation. He's a truck driver. He's a truck driver.
You know what though? But he's going to a composite truck company, and I don't know exactly what that means. It's kind of a new term to me. I'm not a trans guy. Sorry about it. I do have a driver's badge.
Are you sure you're not a trans guy? Are you sure?
I mean, in real life now, turns out I do drive a truck for a living.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear the playback on this and realize what you're saying. But
anyway, no, I'm actually super proud of him. I'm really happy with him.
Yeah.
He's gonna go. I don't know if they're driving heads. They got heads. They got the medium equipment transporters. They got all kinds of shit. And the what are the new MRAP little Humvee replacement things? They got those too.
I stopped paying attention. You have to tune into Sergeant's Time to hear all about that, because
I
cut that stuff out.
We're deviating from our.
But okay.
Another thing,
Mm-hmm.
I got a chair that's not squeaky. You're welcome.
Congratulations. Hey, I will give, since you're giving a shout out, I'm gonna give a shout out to one of our very own members of the team here, Mud Puppy. Hopefully he's in the chats. He says what's up. Really, really cool story. On the last Fat Man Beyond, which is Kevin Smith's podcast where he talks like comic books and stuff like that, he got asked a question by a fan, and it said, what was, the favorite gift a fan has ever given you? And he thought about it for a second. He said, I love when, fans do pictures and stuff like that. It's very nice. But he goes, hands down, the best gift I've ever gotten. And he said, not just from a fan. The best gift I've ever gotten, period, was, he said he was doing the tour for the Silent Bob or Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And he said a fan had given him an exact, it's not a replica, it's the same series of camera that he shot Clerks on. He shot Clerks on this, like, the Aries AFZ2 whatever, very old school camera, and a fan had given to him. That was Mud Puppy. That was our very own Mud Puppy. Had met him after the show, brought the camera, gave it to him, says, hey, I know you shot Clerks on this, thought you'd like to have one for your very own. And Kevin was even like, he's like, I don't know why in all the years I never thought to, like, have one of these as a memento, but he goes, it's the greatest gift he's ever been given. So big ups to Mud Puppy for killing it with the awesome gift giving and getting a shout out from Kev Smith on his podcast. I'm sure he's gonna live on that clip. Awesome. He's gonna record that clip and live on it forever. I mean, to say, you've given the best gift ever to someone like Kevin Smith, who literally has everything, that's pretty cool. So super ups to him.
Literally everything.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, the dude lives in was it Ben Affleck's old house? So
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he bought Ben Affleck's house like years ago. I know, it's such a weird thing. All right, let's get. I mean, come on, we're 10 minutes in. We gotta get to some real. What are the people here for? Some pop culture news. I mean, obviously they're here for Louie Anderson,
do come
but
for that, don't they?
well, they come here for Louie Anderson, but
yeah.
But first, let's wet your whistle with a little pop culture news. Let's start off with some TV news. My sound effects are acting wonky. I don't know if anybody could hear that, but I'm gonna figure that out. So what's up first? Oh, here we go. So this is, when we're talking pop culture, we're talking, classic. We're talking part of the popular culture. I would hesitate to say that you're familiar with the Peanuts gang, right? The Charlie Brown gang, right?
Charlie Brown.
Yes, Snoopy and Woodstock and all the Charlie Brown family. You've probably seen a few of the specials over the years. The Halloween special, the Great Pumpkin. What was the Christmas one? I forget the Christmas. A very special Christmas or something like that. Something. Anyway,
Christmas tree.
So here's kind of an interesting twist on all those people that enjoy the Hollywood, the holiday specials that from Charlie Brown. Apparently, Apple TV has signed an exclusive deal with the owners of all that media, including future media for Charlie Brown, and they're going to stream it exclusively on Apple TV this year. So it says here, Apple announced that they've teamed up with WildBrain, along with Peanuts Worldwide, to make Apple TV Plus the home for all things Peanuts. The new partnership will also include the production of new Peanuts holiday specials, and according to the Vulture, it means that the existing holiday specials probably aren't going to air on ABC this year. So if you're looking for your fix of the Great Pumpkin, the holiday specials, it's not looking like it's going to be on ABC this year. Which, fascinating enough, the last time a Charlie Brown special wasn't aired on TV, can you hesitate? Can you guess when was the last time Charlie Brown wasn't on TV for the holidays?
No, I'm thinking like September 11th, like 2001. I'm guessing somewhere in there.
No, the last year where there was no Charlie Brown on TV at any point in that year, 1965.
Wow, really?
There has been some form of Charlie Brown, one of his specials, something on TV. The last time it wasn't on air was 1965. So this will be the first year since 1965 that we don't have some form of Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown Christmas, The Great Pumpkin, the Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. It says here that, so if you want to see it this year, Charlie Brown will debut on Apple TV on October 19th, which was yesterday. A couple days late. October 19th will be available for free from October 30th until November 1st. That's the Halloween special. Then the Thanksgiving special will be coming out November 18th, available for free November 25th through the 27th. And then a Charlie Brown Christmas, which is available on December 4th, but for free December 11th until December 13th. So you will be able to see it for free if that's a tradition. If you gather up the kids and family and watch it. It's a surprise move from what a lot of people consider it a holiday staple. So right. a bit of a surprise, I think, when it comes to that. Do you guys watch?
We usually watch it. That's one we actually. I mean, in the years past, obviously,
right?
It's a big one.
Yeah.
I think it's one they should have. To be fair, though. Anyway, if you really want to watch it, you can find it on YouTube, and
yeah,
I'm sure you can find it on the internet.
And they're going to show it for free on Apple TV, or you could have the membership and watch it anytime. You just got to pick those specific days to watch it.
Pretty sure about it though that you can get it just about anywhere you want though. I mean,
it's the internet. You can always find things on the internet for sure. So what else? I'm not a huge Charlie Brown fan. I've never been a Charlie Brown fan, but like I know when my son gets older that like, oh, that's something we'll sit down and watch together because it's something I watched when I was a kid, and I'd love to share that with him. So it's interesting to see how that moves forward. They're also part of that deal. They're going to be producing new content for Charlie Brown, so there'll also be new stuff coming out in the future.
See, this is where I struggle with that a little bit, because Charlie Brown is a big thing, right? Charlie Brown's kind of a staple of our childhood, if you want.
Sure.
However you want to say these things. You're obviously not going to be able to get the same characters and cast and voices and whatnot.
Obviously.
Obviously, because it's been when's the last time a new Charlie Brown came out? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, is it going to be good?
Yeah, well, I mean,
it'll be a thing. It'll be a thing, and we'll probably all enjoy it. We'll probably look forward to it.
It'll
be a thing, but will it be good?
Right.
Or is it going to be something
that's always the question. Well, I don't know if you saw, but like a couple years ago, they made like a 2D, 3D Charlie Brown movie. It was called Peanuts. They did like the Toy Story animation style of where it's like 3D but computer animated, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it was different. I mean, it's
like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm
But I think anytime you step out of that 2D hand-drawn animation style, it's going to seem different. It's going to seem weird.
I'm not saying that it can be different and be good.
Right.
Or it can be different and be shitty. I'm not saying, like, I don't care if it's necessarily different.
Right.
I want it to be good.
Yeah.
I want it to be... And I think you have a lot of people my age and older, honestly, all the way up to people who grew up in the 60s, right? Who have a very high standard for that stuff.
Absolutely.
Low tolerance for bullshit. So there's a big hill for them to climb. Now, not saying that they can't introduce to a new audience, not saying they can't rehash it for the new millennia or whatever you want to say about it, or whatever buzzword you want to attach to it.
Sure.
But it would behoove them to make it good.
Yeah. Agreed. I have no counter to that argument. I hope it will be good. Moving on to another TV story. Speaking of bringing something back, I was shocked to hear this story, and I'm sure probably everybody's heard it by now. But do you remember a little show called Dexter?
I've heard of it.
You didn't watch Dexter. Sometimes, Radar, I just want to poke that little bubble of yours. I just want to poke your little bubble.
Well, I mean, I've seen a couple.
I got you.
Another one, honestly, Dexter. I'm probably gonna get some hate mail for this. Didn't love it. I've seen a couple episodes of it. I saw like
It's
4 or 5 episodes. Didn't love it.
yeah. I'll tell you what. Honestly,
Didn't love it.
I'm pulled both ways with Dexter because honestly, I feel like it was one of the best shows I've ever watched. Like it was just so engrossing and just it drew you in. Now, the first season was a little like, man, you had to kind of slog through it. But from seasons like 2 through 4, some of the best TV I think that's ever been written, ever been shot. Just amazing. Season 5 was a little, it was good, but it wasn't great. They had John Lithgow that year. And then, or no, that was season 4. Season 5 was somebody else. And then season 6, which is it really started to kind of go off the rails a bit. Yeah, and then the ending is what everyone always talks about. It's one of the most reviled series endings. Like if you Google like, worst rated series finales, Dexter is like number 1 on most of the list because of how, I mean, they butchered for a show about a serial killer. They legitimately butchered the ending of that show. So for years, people have been saying like, they should they should try again. They should retcon it. They should like redo it. Ignore the Connors did it with because remember the end of Roseanne, like it turned like it was a whole thing. People were dead and like it was a whole thing. And so when they did the Connors, they just kind of were like, well, that never happened and just moved past it. So a lot of people are saying, so anyway, the story is Dexter is coming back. Dexter is coming back. It's being revived. It's been ordered by Showtime for a 10-episode order for a pseudo 9th season. And the biggest get, of course, is that Michael C. Hall will return to play Dexter. We don't know. We don't have details on like, is this picking up where the series bombed and continue from there? Is this 10 years down the line? Are they gonna it was all a dream and then like redo what had happened? We don't know that yet. The only thing that we know for sure is that the showrunner Clyde Phillips said that this show will have no resemblance to how the finale was, and that this is a great opportunity to kind of write a second finale for the show. So it is a very much a limited series. It's probably not going to get another pickup. This is them trying to like stick on an epilogue to kind of leave, not leave the show hated.
But okay. So I want to go back to what I harp on all the fucking time on this show. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I watched like 4 or 5 episodes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First season. When I start something, I start it from the beginning.
Sure.
Okay. And I don't even recall how many. And I try because everyone's like, "It's so good, you gotta watch it. It's so amazing." And I'm like, "All right, fine, I'll fucking try it."
Mm-hmm.
Try. Fucking sucks. Done. I'm fucking done. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out. Fucking done with it. Right. And then you're just like, well, I mean, then it gets a little bit better, and then it gets a little better, and then it fucking sucks. I'm like, well, it sucks. And then it gets a little bit better, and then it fucking sucks.
It was great for like 5 years.
Sucks.
It was great for like 5 solid years. And then it was okay for 2 or 3 years.
So was my second marriage. But I still fucking ended it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't even 5 years. Turned it out all right, I guess. But what I'm saying is, like, okay, this is what I get back to when I talk about it. You're talking about a new series coming out, and you're all excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's got this good. I'm like, all right, but does it suck? Okay. You have a show like we're gonna use Dexter here because it's on my screen. I'm looking at it, Dexter.
Sure.
Right? Okay. Don't make it fucking suck. You know what I mean?
But how many people?
First season. Okay, I'm using your words. The person who is talking about it.
Sure.
And
sure.
Praising the shit out of it.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it gotta like? Okay, I understand teething problems. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second season gets a little better, whatever, and then it starts fucking suck again, right? One shot, one shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can they make it not suck?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
okay.
believe they could.
What made it suck fucking balls to begin with? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the initial fucking sucking. I'm talking about like this third gear suck. Right? Apparently it pulled fine in second.
When they drove off the cliff and it exploded on impact. That one you're talking about?
Whatever. It's whenever it started sucking again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that
they changed writers.
I mean, that's probably part of it. Showrunners, these things happen behind the scenes. You change producers, writers, you change directors, all these different things. But at the end of the day, I really felt that they kind of just wrote themselves out of it. They did, was it 8 seasons? Like, that's a lot. And they were, I think, I remember correctly, they were hour-long episodes.
Okay.
That's a lot of writing. That's a lot of, and like, how many times can you be the killer that kills and just barely gets away with it? Like, it's, you write yourself into a corner. After 8-9 years, you start to feel like, man, I've got nothing left in the tank. And that's why they have to end a show. And I think any show, look, Friends, everybody loves Friends. But let's be honest, seasons 9 and 10 were...
Friends fucking suck balls, too. Friends was in bullshit. Sorry about it, but I don't have a vagina, so I mean, maybe I was destined to like Friends.
Dude, your radarisms today are just fucking on fire, man. I love it.
But I'm just, okay, well, Friends kind of suck. Sorry about it. Like...
So...
My radar. Okay, well, look. I'm just saying, Spanky, that sometimes... Okay, Friends fuck suck. I can't
the point is, to get back on topic.
But you just said, okay, I'm going to use your words against you in your argument, okay?
Right.
You could only make it happen so many times.
Right.
Suck.
But that's why I was leading into that. I feel now that there's been a long break. No, like, they weren't forced to do this. They weren't forced to come back and say, like, you got to come up with some good stuff. The whole thing, and I even have a comment here from the Showtime president, the channel president. He said, we only revisit this unique character. Like, we would only revisit this unique character if we could find a creative take that was truly worthy of the brilliant original series. And he says, I'm happy to report that Clyde Phillips and Michael C. Hall have found a way. We're going to shoot it, and we're going to show it to the world. So I feel they came back to this character. Obviously, money, because, money. Yeah,
it's fucking money.
Whatever. But given that they've had time to really, like, how do we wish we would have ended it? How could we really went out with a bang? And I feel like that's why they're coming back to kind of put a better spin on the ending. Imagine you made a show that was one of the most talked about shows of all time, one of the most recognized shows of all time, that also has arguably the worst ending of all time, and you end up on every list of, like, biggest shows that blew it in the end. Like, wouldn't you after a while go, you know what, fuck it, we got to go back and fix it?
Okay, well, The Sopranos, for one, that ended fucking suck balls. Did it not?
So, I mean, some people...
And one of my favorite shows, Deadwood.
Mm-hmm.
Original. Well, they didn't really have it in it. They just quit making it. They're just like, fuck it, we're done with this bullshit. Right? They finally made a movie like 10 years fucking later to kind of tie all the shits together, and they think they did a fair job. But the original ending was just dumb. It's just like, okay, well, we're just fucking whatever. We're done with this crap. You know what I mean? They just gave up.
I hear you. That's
So, but what I'm saying, okay, this guy you just talked about, the executive from fucking Showtime, what the fuck ever his name was. I forgot because that didn't
president for sure. Yeah.
Me. The same guy who thought that the middle part that sucked and the ending that fucking sucked was a good idea. It's like, well, we'll try it again. Well, no, he fucking obviously doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
I mean, sorry about it. You know what? You can be as ho-hum. Listen, Grinch, you can be as ho-hum about it as you want. I'm excited. I want to see what they do. I will reserve judgment until I see the first trailer. Usually that first trailer, you can go, oh, they jacked that up.
trailers, dog. We already talked
I,
about this.
I know you can be tricked. I know you can be tricked, but like if the trailer can't trick you, then it's hot garbage. You know what I mean? Like if you can't even be excited about the trailer, then you know there's no point in tuning into the show. I absolutely have been duped by trailers before. I'm just saying, like, I know if it's even worth a watch based on what I see in the trailer. I've seen new stuff coming out where it's the trailer comes out and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. There's just no way. So, but yeah, sometimes trailers do trick you. Let's switch. I got some movie news for you. Here we go.
All right then. All right, I'll sit back.
You shush now.
I'm shushing.
So, in some comic booky movie news, let's see if I can pull it up here. There it is. Michael B. Jordan is getting back in the superhero game. Obviously, he brought to life. What was it? The
Space Jam. He brought to life Space Jam.
no,
Michael B. Jordan was in Space Jam.
Not Michael Jordan, Space Jam. Michael B. Jordan from Black Panther. He was the foil for Black Panther.
He was in Space Jam.
He was
I think you're making things
the
up
Golden
again.
Jaguar. He, and I got an image for you here. He is tied to produce a live action Static Shock movie for DC. So there was weeks of speculation on this, but Warner Brothers has finally announced that they are indeed working on a Static Shock film, and I forgive you all if you have no idea who the hell Static Shock is. It's one of those smaller characters that has a very loyal, passionate fan base, but it's not Superman, Batman, Wonder. You know what I mean? It's not one of these the biggins. You know, he's the Ant-Man of the DC universe, where it's kind of like he's well known, but just if you're not in the know, you don't know. So basically, they announced Friday afternoon that Black Panther star Michael B. Jordan is set to produce and most likely feature in the movie. So probably not playing Static Shock. I feel like he's a little old. Static Shock's usually on the younger side, but you never know. He did say, "I'm proud to be part of building a new universe centered around black superheroes. Our community deserves that. Outlier Society is committed to bringing to life diverse comic book content across all platforms, and we're excited to partner with Reggie and Warner Brothers on this initial step." So the report suggests basically that this will very much be kind of like how Iron Man was, where it will establish a new, kind of superhero universe, and probably, even though it's DC Comics, probably won't be connected to the Zack Snyder universe, probably won't be connected to the Matt Reeves new Batman that's coming out. It's going to be its own thing, but again, establishing a foothold in kind of that, that superhero franchise. For those that don't know, Static Shock, I mean, you could probably guess, he had electric powers. He could do lots of cool stuff, had lots of cool crossovers, many good stories, just not as big of a name. And really, I'm guessing they're trying to, with how the Zack Snyder universe kind of fizzled, fizzled. I think DC is trying to reestablish and come out with a newer universe and something fresh. And honestly, Michael B. Jordan's an incredible actor, and I think he's gonna make sure, just as they did with Black Panther, like this movie has really good representation, and it's a boon for the community. And yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I don't know. Would you see a Static Shock movie if given the chance? If theaters were open?
I would go see it. I would.
I think it's gonna be good. I think so.
Did I send that to you?
Did you send what to me?
The thing. You can book.
Yeah.
You can book a theater for like $100.
Yeah. As low as $100, because there's I looked into it, a couple of theaters. It's so basically what my friend Radar here is talking about is AMC is allowing you that on their website you can actually book a theater. For as low as $99, you can rent out the entire screening and basically schedule it as you see fit, obviously based on availability. So you could say, I want on Thursday at 6 o'clock to get a screening of the new Tenet movie. And for $99, which I mean, if you get like 6 of your friends, that equates the price of a normal ticket per person, and then you've got the whole theater to yourself. And there's add-ons you can get for like food and drinks and all these different things. So I was thinking of hosting like a local pop culture warrior cinema night where anybody that's within driving range, I'll rent out the movie theater and we'll catch a flick. I don't know, New Mutants or Tenant or something. So if there's enough interest for our local PCW fans, you know, obviously Radar wouldn't be coming out because
fuck that off out there.
Challenge accepted. So that's a thing. But yeah, so
that would be fun. We should do that. Yeah, get like, I don't know, whoever can make it out your way.
Yeah,
right.
I honestly feel
and Spanky and shit.
Yeah,
we all show up and we could
absolutely. We do a live show. We do a live. We watch a movie.
Camera behind us like Mystery Science Theater 3000, and we could like fucking heckle the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to heckle it, but I think we could watch a movie and then do like, I'll double book it. We watch a movie and then just do like a live show. Like we set up a table right at the front and just do a live show. We'll have you dial in. You'll be in the giant screen above my head, right? You'll be the Wizard of Oz right above me. That'd be funny. We should totally do that. I'm all for it. Let's get Ice on the horn and we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do that out.
So I want to do these things right now.
Which, by the way, next week is our Halloween episode. We're not gonna have a guest, but we are going to have surprises and costumes and fun stuff and ways for you, the audience, to participate, play some games, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So tune in next week for our
it's gonna be a ton of fun
Halloween episode.
Yeah, dude, I'm in. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear for a
costume.
For a costume, though.
I might even do a costume change. I'm thinking of doing 2 or 3 costumes, man. Do a diva style. Do wardrobe changes between segments.
I don't know about any of all that. That's way too much work. But
it's exhausting.
Maybe I'll change once. But see, here's a problem, dude. Okay, I'm in my bunker, right?
Yeah.
So for me to change costumes, everyone's gonna see me like all naked and shit. But in all fairness,
I'll turn off the camera. I'll turn off the camera. You're fine. I won't turn off the camera.
Or I can go. I do have a door.
You do have a door. You can turn off your own camera. You know that.
I know, but then it looks weird. Remember, we talked about that.
Yeah, we did. That's fine. That's fine. Hey, some more news coming out of the movie front. I do have another pictures to share with you guys. So obviously, speaking of the new Batman movie, I just mentioned it. The new Batman movie, they've kind of wrapped up filming in Liverpool, England, and are now filming in Chicago. And what happens when you're filming in the streets of the U.S., paparazzi are everywhere and getting tons of pictures about what the stuff they're filming. Now, a couple of shots have come out, and they've led to some interesting conclusions. Exhibits A and B are here for you to see. So, if you're looking at the bottom picture, obviously that's not Superman and Wonder Woman, but this is a scene where everyone's dressed in costumes, so it's obviously some type of Halloween situation. But the very fact that there's a guy in a Superman costume and a lady in a Wonder Woman costume tells us that in this Matt Reeves Batman universe, which was supposed to stand off on its own, Superman and Wonder Woman are a thing, right? They exist. Now, I'm torn because I find it hard to believe, being that this is the Batman year one kind of a story, that we already have established superheroes like Superman and Wonder Woman. They're so fantastical, it's hard to believe they're established. So what I'm thinking is, in this Batman universe, comic books exist. Superheroes in the form of comic books exist. There is a Superman comic book. There is a Wonder Woman comic book or TV show or movies. And the idea that Batman does not exist in this universe and therefore is not part of the superhero craze, and therefore maybe he's even inspired by the comic books he read growing up as a kid, and that gave him the idea to suit up but be more realistic and be like the dark knight versus the shining beacon of hope. Something like that. I really, really, really can't imagine, based on everything we've heard about the movie, that basically the Justice League exists. And they're so like the boys that they have merchandise you can go buy in stores. I just don't buy that. So either this was a huge troll moment, and they're like, let's just put guys in costumes walking around set, totally not in the movie, just to screw with the paparazzi, which, I mean, would be a baller move. I think that's going above and beyond. It's going above and beyond. Could be a baller move. But I believe that comic book heroes exist in this universe, but that Batman is one and of himself and only him as an actual superhero. They're trying to make this as realistic and gritty and believable as possible. So the idea that there's Kryptonians and Amazonians and but here again is where it gets stranger. If you see the top picture, this was shot. There's posters. They posted up posters, obviously on set. On the middle right side of that poster, upside down, that's the Flash logo. The lightning bolt in the circle, that's the Flash's logo. So do we also allude to the fact that the Flash exists in this universe? Again, strange. And just as a fun little tidbit about that poster on the top, it says like stab out the eye, destroy, whatever, but it says GothCorp. And GothCorp, obviously short for Gotham Corporation, GothCorp first appeared in the 1990 Batman animated series. GothCorp never existed prior to the animated series of the 90s, the ones that we grew up on. So it's interesting that they've pulled that kind of from that universe, the animated universe, and now it's a real thing in Gotham in Matt Reeves, the Batman. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, man?
I like the best comment from Bob Eulo. Could it be the crew having costume day at the shoot? I love it. And that, man, because oh god, I don't know.
I mean, it could.
It drums up a lot of, I don't know. Do you want to say content, or does it? And that's not really a good word for this. A lot of hubbub,
like buzz. It gets a lot of buzz going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The telling thing to me, this whole thing, is Superman wearing a fucking mask.
Yeah. Well, and Wonder Woman. I think everybody, because of, I think the rule.
Yeah, because of the Rona and stuff. But I get it. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me.
I think.
Do you think the Man of Steel wouldn't need a fucking?
Well, he's not really the Man of Steel. No, I think the rule for shooting is that if the cameras aren't rolling, masks are required. So, like, they take them off right before they start shooting, and then put them back on between shots. Just because they have to be on top of each other for filming. But yeah, I don't know. Somebody in the chats, man, do you guys think that in the Batman movie, the standalone Matt Reeves Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, do you believe that other superheroes exist, that are established superheroes, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash? Do you believe that they're out there in the world? Obviously, they're not going to be on screen. They're not, because you wouldn't have the first Batman movie and they have all these superheroes. But do you believe that they're out there? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't believe it.
I think it's a neat. Why can't they be part of that? You know what I mean? Because we talked about this, how they have different universes that coexist together and all these things, blah blah blah. Why could that not be a thing?
I mean, it could be. It could be. I just don't think, if you're trying to establish the Batman and the idea that he's like, I'm gonna fight criminals, I'm on the streets, and I just.
But I'm just saying, why could he not have run-ins with other superheroes as he's kind of an adolescent superhero?
I don't know.
So to
it's just
you know what I mean?
You take the photo. Okay, look, already in this movie, confirmed, we have Batman, we have Alfred, we have Commissioner Gordon, we have Catwoman, we have the Penguin, we have like Detective Bullock, we have the Riddler. Like, this is a 2-hour movie. You already have all that, and now you think there might be a run-in with Superman, a run-in with Wonder
It doesn't
Woman,
have
like
to. It doesn't have to be like a big.
right? It
To
could be
to
he
you know what
shoot,
I
he
mean?
flies by, and he's like, "Fuck that guy."
No, no, no. I'm just saying, like it could be something like I don't know, like he's just like having a bad day, and he's sitting there on a little bat cave with his fucking oh my god, I'm just such a piece of shit, and and then like
Superman just gives him a pat on the
Superman
back.
swoops in like, hey man, you're doing good. Let me help you. How can I help you? Whatever. And
Because
then
if
also
Superman helps
also
Batman, then Batman doesn't have to do anything.
no 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 no. No, hear me out. Okay,
All right.
kind of because here's the and this is where my brain is fantastical. Okay, all right. He comes in, Superman just comes in and is like, hey buddy, little guy, what's going on? And like whatever, they kind of bullshit. He helps him up from his bad day or whatever. All these characters kind of get introduced a little bit, hang out for a little bit, whatever, have like a small part to play. That opens it up for later on for there to be sequels with these characters in them, and it adds like to that canon, right?
hmm
It's planting the seed for future endeavors with these main characters.
I mean, sure. Like everybody wants to build their own universe now. I don't know. There was a great. It wasn't the original Batman animated series. I think it was like one of the follow ones, like the Adventures of Batman and Robin. But they did this one episode where like Batman literally was gone. He disappeared. So Robin calls for help because like obviously the criminals are running amok.
Right.
Superman shows up.
He sucks balls. Yeah.
Yeah, Superman shows up and throws on the cowl. He becomes Batman. And it's so funny to me because it highlights how easily Superman would beat all of Batman's villains. There was literally like a secret cabal meeting of like all Batman's villains, including Bane, which was one of his toughest physical opponents. And Superman just walks in and just slaps them all around and locks them up in literally 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so that's why it's sometimes hard to be like, well, why can't Superman help out Batman in the movie? Because I'm like, because how would you write that? Because Superman's just yeah, Superman would smack around Batman's villains like willy nilly, like it's no big deal. The only
Yeah.
one he would have a trouble with is the mystical because everybody knows kryptonite is his weakness, but also the magic arts can hurt him. So anybody that had magical powers could give him a run in. But yeah, now
But
we're geeking out too hard.
all of the things that I'm just saying, like this could be interesting. I think that okay, there's either nothing to it or there's a lot more to it, and it's just building onto
Right.
the future, and that's kind of I don't know. It could be neat.
I got you. I
Could
got
be
you.
neat, sir.
I got you. I got you. All right. So, all right.
Not so quickly.
One more story, and we'll take you guys to break here. Don't forget, if you're still here, Louie Anderson coming up after the break. That's going to be awesome. Do not leave. So one more for you. I don't even know how to segue into this. Mel Gibson is going to be playing Santa Claus, but not the way you would think. I have a trailer for the new movie called Fat Man, and I'm just gonna let it speak for itself because you guys are gonna want to see this. So here is the trailer for Fat Man with Mel Gibson. All right. So apologies because I'm being told that you guys couldn't hear that, and that sucks because it's yeah, it's something else. Radar, what did you think? What did you think about the trailer?
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I heard it and I was like, oh yeah, that's good.
Very, very different. Basically, to give you guys a synopsis, Chris Kringle, Mel Gibson, also known as Santa Claus, has his declining business and he's forced into a partnership with the U.S. military. And making matters worse is he gets locked into a deadly battle of wits against a highly skilled assassin who was hired by a precocious 12-year-old after he received a lump of coal in his stocking. So, 'tis the season for Fat Man to get even in this action comedy that keeps on giving. Yeah, it, it looks ridiculous. I mean, it really looks ridiculous. But in that, yeah, in that good way, where it's like it's dark, it's comedy, it's action. Again, apologies, guys, that there was no sound. I'll throw it up on the page later so you can see it, or Google it. Fat Man with Mel Gibson. But yeah, I'm super stoked because that looks like a ridiculously good time, a very fun time to be had, and they're playing it so serious, like they're playing it so serious, but it's just super over the top, ridiculous. Yeah, looks like a lot of fun. So for you guys, yeah, check that out. Kind of bummed that you guys didn't hear the sound, but you know, it is what it is. With that, do you have anything, Bud, before we take a short break?
No, let's do this.
No, let's do this. All right, guys. I'm super excited that we're gonna go to break, and when we come back, we are gonna be speaking with 3-time Emmy Award winner, actor, comedian, writer, author, I mean, all around amazing dude, Louie Anderson, coming up after the break. If you guys have questions, if you got questions for Louie Anderson, throw them in the chats. Throw them in the chats. We will we'll get to them if all things work out, and hopefully you can hear the sound of the interview. That would be that'd be my next hope. But yeah, stay tuned. We will be back, guys, after this short break. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Right here, right now. I'm better without you. You're always on my mind. But right here, right now. I'm better without you. I've had this for some time. But right now, I know that I'm better on my own.
looking up and fading out. Cirrus shapes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through. Skin is brown. Nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life and it's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? Constellation theme, mapping stars they're meant to be. Geminis are free of suicidal kings. This misty maze of me, so obvious yet never seen. Feeling though the fog will lift to find me lost at sea. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life and it's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? Myself and I am so lost, it's beautiful, far away from life. But I want your visceral feeling to be mine. Oh, I just don't get it. When will your heart beat with my mind? Oh, I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life and it's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I stood there in that middle of church with a bottle of gin in my hand. I'm looking up at the rooftop like I'm trying to find my long lost friend. My days turn to nights, my nights turn to weeks when you're living life on the road. I'm halfway back to New Orleans with a few more drinks to go. I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back. I finally made it back to Bourbon Street, picking some of them old night bars, hoping I could find myself playing music on my guitar. For the kid around, they all shouted out as the drinks began to flow. I pulled out that old guitar, then I showed them how to do-si-do. I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back. I stood there with a bottle of gin in my hand, looking up at the rooftop like I'm trying to find my long lost friend. Days turn to nights, but nights turn to weeks when you live a life on the road. Halfway back to New Orleans with a few more drinks to go, I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back.
Call the show now at 415-889-8367. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right, guys, welcome back. This is hour 2 of Pop Culture Warrior. I'm so over the moon excited right now. This is absolutely awesome. I know we've been blasting this out on social media all week. You guys are super excited for this. I feel silly giving an intro to my next guest because you know him. But my guest tonight is one of the country's most recognized and adored comics, a 3-time Emmy Award winner. He was named by Comedy Central as one of the 100 greatest stand-up comedians of all time. His career has spanned more than 30 years. He's a best-selling author, a star of multiple stand-up specials, sitcoms, TV shows, and he continues to tour around the country, nationwide, worldwide even. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Louie Anderson.
Hey, what's going on?
There he is. Man, you look fantastic, first of all.
Culture Warrior.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we're going to hire you to do our next commercial, so we appreciate that. You look fantastic, by the way. Thank you so much for coming on.
You look fantastic, and you are, we had a talk on a Zoom call we did, and
Yeah.
you invited me on. I was honored, and my dad was a veteran, and I'm all about the veterans. I've done lots of different things. I did Desert Storm when they came home, and they did a special, and Barbara and George Bush Sr. Were on it, and I got into a little trouble because I introduced when they introduced me. We were welcoming back the Desert Storm. I said I'd like to also welcome back the Vietnam vets. I got a little heat from that, but I thought we never really welcomed them back. Or at least I didn't think so. So.
Well, hey, I appreciate you so much. And I was going to start out with, I always, obviously we interview a lot of actors, directors, comedians, different people. The first thing I always ask is, being that we're a military-focused themed show, what's your connection to the military? And obviously, I know your dad. Do you want to touch on that, or?
Yes, sure. My dad, I was just on Ancestry.com looking at his going into the Army, his draft card, not draft card, his, the first thing you sign. I forget. I'm sorry, I don't have the correct
You're fine.
thing for that, but his registration, saying why he was there when he got out and all those things. And I think it looked like he was there a couple of different times. And I know he lied about his age. He was 15, and you had to have your signatures thing. And he made his parent, his dad, his stepdad, adopted dad, sign for him to go in the service. And then he became a bugler. And when he got out, he became a trumpet player. And there was a quite successful jazz trumpet player. And so he had a real life, and he was a wounded veteran and disabled veteran. And I think that's the original thing they used to say, is the disabled, but now I think it's wounded. I think that's the more appropriate one. And my brother Roger was in the Marines, and my nephews have been in the service, and so I have a lot of respect. My dad always talked about supporting veterans, and always was proud of the fact that he was a veteran, and passed that on to me. And I'm humbled by the idea that somebody is out there protecting me, men and women who don't know me. And what an honor it is to be on your show.
Oh, the honor is all mine, sir. And obviously the fans are literally, and again, I'm not going to toot any horns here. We've had some noteworthy folks come on. But this week, as we've talked about, oh my God, Louie Anderson's going to come on. I have been inundated with people going, oh my God, I love Louie. Oh my God, I loved, Life with Louie in the show, and I loved him in.
All right.
See, they love it. The movies, the stand-up specials, the appearances. I mean, it's all phenomenal stuff. And you have a pretty active social media as well. So, you're always engaging. And everybody's been super excited for you to come on. So thank you.
Thank you.
So let me start with it. So you're born in St. Paul, Minnesota. You are the 10th out of 11 children.
I know.
I mean, it seems like it writes itself for comedy. I mean, it's like, how could you not get into comedy is the question.
Yeah. I think it's true. I think it's just, in a big family, you take it all in, especially if you're a 10th of 11. And I had a little brother, Tommy, my baby brother, who was part of the cartoon. And when we did the cartoon, we just did a few characters because, it would be so difficult to highlight 11 people, but all my brothers and sisters in my heart, and they were all part of that. And everything I do in my stand-up, I try to honor them. I make fun of them, but I make most fun of myself first, so that it, that carries. And I'm really lucky in the cartoon. My dad talked about, being in the war all the time and veterans, and and I'm proud of it. That cartoon played in 18 countries, and I'll see people in Romania with a Life with Louie tattoo and stuff like that. I'm always humbled by the idea that somebody halfway around the world is seeing this stuff. Of course, now it's we're halfway around the world doing this. I'm sure there are lots of veterans out there, and we always talk about helping the veterans, but I think we miss the mark. I think I think we could do a lot more. I love, Jon Stewart's doing some stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's really fantastic. I just signed a petition for something he put out there, and
the burn pits.
I remember taking my dad to the Veterans Hospital and him getting care there, and in Minneapolis, and also in Reno, Nevada, at the end of his life. And I remember, meeting a lot of veterans. And then I have been here in Nevada up to the Veterans Hospital, and have visited a lot of veterans. And I always leave there with a great pride and a humility, because I know the sacrifice, because you go there and you see the sacrifice, and you see what people. But my dad had a good sense of humor, and he passed that on to me, and so did my mom. And so I try to put it even in things that were serious. I try to get the humor in there.
Right. So obviously you have a career that spans. I mean, as old as I am. I mean, it's incredible, and I say that in the kindest way possible.
Yeah. You don't realize that you're, all one day. I said that the October 10th, this last October 10th, I celebrated my 42nd year doing stand-up comedy, which is amazing. That I'm still working. I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
My fans have been so good to me. They've really been good to me. And I've had a great career. I've always tried to, do the best I can, especially I really do love my fans. I never refused anyone, especially in the last, 20, 25 years, ever refused anyone an autograph for a picture. I just, it's who I am. I don't judge anyone who doesn't want to do it.
Right.
But, I feel obligated. I feel blessed that somebody wants to take a picture with me.
I completely understand. And I think that, especially in the entertainment industry, it's notorious, especially over the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, the turnover rate is incredible. Obviously, shorter attention spans and, needing to be quicker and funnier and on the edge. And what's been yours? How do you stay relevant? How do you, just maintain such a great career?
French fries.
That's the secret.
I don't care. I don't care how hip you are, how relevant you are, how hip, relevant, cool. I don't care. Everybody loves French fries. But I mean, it's. I just try to talk about, things that are real for me. I'm really happy. I've made it 82 days. I'm working really hard on my health right now. 82 days without any fast food,
Wow.
which is amazing to me. And I only have 7,000 more days to go, but still, I think it. I think it is. To be quite honest with you, I think what you see is what you get. I just try to appeal to people. What's funny to me, I hope is funny to them.
Yeah. I think you've always, in everything I've seen a ton of your stand up. As a guy who I just adore stand up, and I think it's such a great skill and craft.
It's not a great thing. I mean, I'm humble. How about all the great stand-ups that are out there?
There's hundreds, thousands even. And your comedy has always come across as authentic, as from the heart, as from the homeland, as it were. In where that sometimes comedians struggle to find their voice, find their niche, find their their outlet. But man, I look back at the 1984 when you hit the stage on the Tonight Show, and I mean you crushed it. I've never seen such a big reaction off of like your first 4 words. It was just so phenomenal. Which one of my favorite parts of that bit was when you did the broad jump and I crushed her or I killed her. Oh my God, that was to this day.
A joke like that. You can't do that joke anymore. But you're right. I think my first joke there was I can't stay long. I'm in between meals.
That's right. That's right.
So that was really, and then I was off and running. I had worked on that Tonight Show set for for a few years to make sure my very first Tonight Show set was a killer, and I got really lucky. And that's when back then almost all the TVs, at least half of them, were on the Tonight Show. And so
there was only so many channels.
Yeah.
So you had a good chance of being in someone's home. I'm just curious, do you still remember what it like, the feeling? You're behind the curtain, you're about to step out. Do you remember that feeling? Can you describe it?
Yeah, I was backstage and I'd watched that curtain 1,000 times. Watched that act that was on the Tonight Show come out from that curtain. And so I did what any good Midwesterner would do. I reached out and felt that curtain. I felt the material. I said, I got to feel this because my mom's going to say, what was that material made out of? And I remember that. I remember all of a sudden, we're just back there. I was with the talent coordinator, and then the band was blaring, and it started to die down, and a big spotlight lit up the front of that curtain that I was behind. And he said to me, you ready? I go, I've never been more ready. And I walked out. I looked you can see it if you watch that Tonight Show. I looked down for that. There's an X where that would be my spot. I went out there, stopped for a second, hit that spot, and delivered my first joke. And then I don't really remember until the end.
It's all blacked out. So I've talked to so many comedians that like their first big set or the first time they're in front of the crowd, it's a blackout. Like you remember stepping up, you did your set, good or bad, and then the first time I went on stage, it's the same thing. I could not tell you My only memories of it are from the videos that people recorded of it. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an overwhelming experience. My whole life, I've been waiting to do it. I did it. I went back to my dressing room. I took a bow, went back to my dressing room, and on the way back, somebody said to me, "Johnny wants you back." What? He wants you back out there. And so I went back out, and I shook his hand, took another bow, and it was just like, it was such a great acknowledgement. And then afterwards, Johnny was coming down the halls are pretty small back of the Tonight Show back then. And he had 2 or 3 guys around it. Johnny always had bodyguards because he used to get death threats because he'd do political stuff. And he leans in my little dressing room area and says, "Great set, great shot, Louie. Good job."
Mm.
And I was like, "Whoa, that's Johnny Carson, baby."
And I mean,
it was a mirror. It felt like felt surreal, but very satisfying.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And obviously you got welcomed back many times and you did many appearances. I mean, I'm just curious, like you said, you nailed that first appearance. It's something you had honed for a long time. How soon are you going back up there, and were you as prepared the second time?
I was. I'll tell you a funny story. I couldn't get on the Tonight Show for a couple years. They wouldn't let me on. The guy who booked it didn't like me.
Mm.
And so that's how life is, though. You have to wait it out sometimes. And during that time, I prepared another 8 Tonight Shows. So I always tell people, you cannot be too prepared to become famous or popular or
Successful.
successful. Just remember that you should be preparing for your success, not waiting for it, because you have to believe it's going to happen. And for me, it was a 2 years, horrible 2 years of waiting.
Mm.
I had lots of offers to do other shows, and I wouldn't. I was holding out for the Tonight Show because that's the American Idol, the AGT.
Yeah.
It's all those shows, wrapped up into one. Those shows, are what are today, and and rightly so. They're big hits, and they can really showcase people who are talented.
Sure.
But back then, if you got a handshake from Johnny Carson on camera, that changed your whole life. The next day, my whole life was changed.
Yeah, it makes or breaks careers right there. So obviously you've traveled doing your comedy. My God, I couldn't fathom, I couldn't calculate the hundreds of thousands of miles you've traveled. I was reading a little something and I found a strange tidbit that you travel with a lot of knickknacks, a lot of things, but that you also travel with a thermometer and blood pressure cuff. Is that true?
Yes, I'm a hypochondriac.
So how?
But, look at now. Guess who was prepared for the pandemic?
I was kind of leading you down that road.
I had the blood pressure.
I was gonna say that I was leading you there, that you beat everyone to it. While we're scrambling to get supplies, here you are traveling with it. How has it been, for somebody that's a hypochondriac that says he is? How has this whole ordeal been for you?
Well, I've gone through different ups and downs during it because, I'll be honest with you. I am a very vulnerable person to this pandemic. I'm overweight, high blood pressure. I smoked for years. I did all the things that I shouldn't. But so I had a few real panic things where I would go, oh my God, I can't do anything, go anywhere. And, I'd meet somebody and I just was, constantly worried about, I was going to get it. And then, I read quite a bit about it. I still don't do much. I don't go anywhere. I don't know group things. I've seen people, but always from a distance. My friend got married, and he asked me to be his best man, and I said, okay. He's a wonderful thing, a wonderful person, and I knew that it was a big honor for him to ask me, and I was honored by it. So he got married at the Elvis Chapel in Vegas, and I've been there. And I said, well, how many people? And he said, just be 4 people. My mom, my fiance, me, you, well, 5 actually, or
With
6.
Elvis, yeah.
The people marrying, that thing.
Sure.
And so I did it. I was masked up. I had goggles on. I was
Full
I was
hazmat suit.
careful, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got out because you have to, I couldn't miss it. I've been friends with him since the 90s, and he used to watch my shows at Bally's. He was the valet guy, and we became really good friends. And he did lots of TV shows. He did Mystery Diner, and I can't name all the shows, but he's the producer, and he's
Okay.
done John Pepper is his name, and he's just the greatest guy, a sweet thing. His dad was also a horn player who played in Vegas here. His mom, I'm very connected to his family, so.
Very nice. Very nice. No, I can't imagine what that's we want you healthy. We want you around for a lot longer. Please stay safe while you do this. So let me ask you this. You've traveled around the world. You've done all these things. Is there any kind of crazy stories that stick out in your mind from all the years of travel?
Well, yeah. I don't. Of course.
And by the way, you don't have to censor yourself for this show, so you can can take this anywhere you want to go with it.
Well, I had a lot of great experiences. I had 2 different experiences in Japan. I went to Okinawa and did shows for the Marines, and that was a great experience. And I had a lot of fun. And I even asked somebody to make me fatigues, because that was like a Bob Hope thing to me.
Sure.
I used to watch Bob Hope do those, and I did that. But one time in 1984, ABC did a show called The Look of 84. And John Powers, I think, or someone like that, who had a modeling thing, had all these girls who were going to be Miss 1984, the look of 84, right? So we went to Atomi, I think it's ATAMI, Atomi, Japan. I probably have it wrong, and I'm sorry about that. And I said, well, how am I going to do stand-up comedy for the crowd? And they go, we're going to bring merchant marines in for the show. I go, oh, good. Okay, good. So we go to tape the show. It was really a lot of fun. And the day of the show, there's a typhoon watch. And so none of the merchant marines
Oh no.
could come. So I had a completely non-English speaking Japanese audience, and they did not understand what I was saying. And I looked to the producer. I go, I don't think they get it. And we're taping it. And then when I put my hand on my stomach for some reason, and they laughed. So I just kept putting my hand on my stomach, and because I think maybe they thought I was sumo, and I was Lumo. But anyways, and that was the weirdest experience, because I'm doing these jokes that I know are great, and they just bombed. Nobody even knew what I was talking about. But so that was one of the experiences I had. That was quite it was really
Well,
a fun.
I don't even think you can call that a bomb. I mean, well, you're in a
No,
different
but you know,
language.
when you're up there,
Yeah.
well, when you're up there, you know, nobody is getting what you say. So
Yeah. It's a very isolating experience when you're not getting it's a one man show, but there's a give and take from the audience, right? So I'm sure you felt alone up there.
I did, but you know, I went with it. I laughed about it because, you know, if there's one thing I learned in life, I learned a lot more in doing bad shows than I ever learned by people saying to me, "Great show."
Mm.
I never learned anything from that, and I appreciated it, and I was happy to hear it, but I never learned anything. But every bad show, I always learned something, like what I could do better the next time, and stuff like that.
That's a
Now
phenomenal way
you're
of looking.
doing, aren't you doing stand up?
I've dabbled. I did a couple of shows but this isn't about me. Come on, Louie. This isn't about me.
No,
This
but
is-
I mean, I just want to say something about people
Yeah.
who want to do stand up, okay?
Yeah.
Or anything that they want to do. They should go do it.
Absolutely.
And you have to do it 100 times stand up wise before you get an idea of how to do stand up. You have to do it at least 100 stand ups.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think it builds that muscle for you. And be fearless. Go try things so that you're not sitting around later in life and going, I wish I would have tried that.
Absolutely.
And especially, who knows? You know, my big worry is, are we ever going to get back to the crowds the way it used to be? And I think not. But I think people are being really creative. They're doing shows outside.
Yeah.
They're doing shows of limited audience.
Online
So
shows I've
that's really
seen.
cool. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about doing a virtual New Year's Eve show in Minnesota because I've been doing a
Right.
stand-up show in Minnesota on New Year's for 29 years in a row.
Yeah. Got to make it 30.
Gotta make it 30, baby.
Yeah. Hey, if you do a Zoom call with stand-up show, I'll be there. I'll bring the audience. That would be phenomenal. We got a couple questions from the audience that I've been sitting on here. So
Let's do it.
from Mike Larson, what's been harder for you, writing a book or writing your stand-up material?
The book. Because, was it Mike?
Yes,
Was it
Mike.
Mike, I was a terrible student. So I'm really dumb with English. But I write from my heart and then I ask somebody to help me, you know, clean it up. Ghostwriter. On my last book, Andrew Postman, a New York writer, wonderful New York writer. I did a book called Hey Mom, and he really helped me with that book. I would have never made that book would have never got finished if it wasn't for and that, you know, that's all I'll say. Andrew Postman helped me get that done. And but I think I think the book writing, because stand up comes natural to me. It's just there for me, you
Sure.
know.
Sure. It's a second skill. It's a sixth sense, as it were. You know, it's just there.
Yeah.
Okay, we got another one from Bronco. What was his most gut-busting, funniest moment of his career? So, what was the quintessential, most epic, funny moment of your career that you can recall? Putting you on the spot for 30, 40 plus years.
I guess when I would have to go on after like Robin Williams or Sam Kinison, or guys like that, you know. These guys are screaming, they're doing their comedy, they're talking about everything, and I come out and say, "Do you like butter?" And I guess winning those people over at the Comedy Store after Sam Kinison and after Robin and people like that. I'm trying to think of something that more is on the embarrassing, gut busting. You know, if I bust my gut, then there's going to be a mess in the house. But let's see. I don't have one particular thing. I guess that thing there in Japan. Here's um, people always would mistake me for other entertainers, John Candy and Chris Farley, and I would always sign the autograph. I never argued with them. They go, "Hi, Mr. Candy, how are you?" I go, "I'm good, I'm great," and then I would sign their name and then put "F you, John Candy." So,
Now,
and they would look at it and walk away and look at it. And I go, "Okay, have a good one. See you later."
was that you messing with the fan, or kind of trying to mess with the person that they mistaked you for?
No, I love John Candy. He was lovely. Chris Farley, lovely people. I was trying to be funny. Like, just like the last thing either of them would say in an autograph was that. And I love both those guys. I miss both of them. So
Yeah. It's it's unfortunate. Sometimes you rise to a certain level of fame and stardom, and that star burns a little too bright. So,
well, they were wonderful, complicated people, you know.
absolutely. Let's see, we got some more questions. What comedians have influenced you in your either growing up or through your career?
Well, Jack Benny, um, Bob Hope, Johnny Carson, Jackie Vernon, Richard Pryor was a huge influence on me. And people go, "Well, you have such a different act than Richard Pryor." But one thing, Richard Pryor, I watch him at the Comedy Store when he would work. And there's a great documentary on Showtime right now, the Comedy Store that I'm in, and a lot of people are in, and the history of it. And anyways, I'd be in the back, and Richard Pryor would be like, he'd be so wide open, just his heart would be out there. Everything about him would be just wide open. And I go, wow, he's just being so honest and forthright and super funny.
Sure.
But I would watch him. He would start out with a joke, and there'd be nothing going on. And then he would come the next night, and there'd be a little something more come on. And then the next night, and it was such a process. Because jokes and stand-up cannot be practiced writing them.
Right.
They have to be practiced performing them. It's just like, I'm sure for you, you could learn all you want in basic training, but once you get out into the field, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing
No, it's
military service to
it's
stand-up.
fine. It's fine.
But I'm just saying, unless you're in it, you can't make it better. You
Sure.
can't get sharper. You can't get crisper. You can't. You gotta go for it.
Yeah, there's an invaluable lesson and experience for actually going through it. Was the famous quote by Mike Tyson: "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." Right? So
Yeah, I saw a lot of his fights. Mike. I know Mike. He's a lovely person and funny, and I just love what he took. It didn't all go easy for him, but he still is resilient, and he still keeps going, and I have a lot of respect for that. And he's a really interesting human being.
He is. He is. There's another question. Is there, and I think you kind of touched on this in that, like, don't have regrets, but is there anything over the course of your career that you wish you could do over?
I wish I would have taken more acting lessons. I wish I would have listened to people who gave me advice that was good advice. I wish I would have worked on my health sooner. And I wish I would have been friends with my dad and more friends with my mom. I was friendly with my mom, but I wish I would have had better relationships with the people. I always say, if your family is still around, you should try to be forgiving if you can and let go of some stuff. I'm not saying it's possible, in every situation. But I give anything to be able to sit down right now and tell my dad that I was on your show and talk to him about how it felt and ask him more about what he went through during his military service. I wish I would have been able to ask my mom, how was it having 11 children? And, you know, what did you want to become, Mom? Who did you want to be before you met Dad?
Yeah, yeah. I right there. I lost my mom many years ago, and I think about that all the time because it was again not about me, but it was in that age where I'm like, I'm my own man, and then you look back and you go, wow, these are real people that I wish I could know better and I could ask these questions. So I feel I
No,
completely understand.
I tell you what, as it was helpful to me in both those, with both my mom and my dad. I wrote letters to them long after they died.
Hmm.
Uh, and it really helped me a lot to get it all out.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny enough. We always kind of in all my interviews, we always kind of tend to touch on mental health and how important it is, and especially as men, where there's that toxic masculinity of where tough it out and don't talk about your feelings. We don't cry and all these things. Um, how big has kind of your own mental health played a part? What do you do to um, stay mentally healthy?
Well, I go to meetings. I go to some 12-step meetings, and they're really helpful. But, I did a lot of therapy, and therapy really made my life much easier. And I encourage people to reach out, and especially people who are really struggling and suffering. Don't do something that's permanent when you are dealing with a temporary problem, because all the worry and anguish that you go through um, will eventually subside. It will pass, hopefully, especially if you reach out.
Yeah.
Because I just think we don't put enough. I mean, we end up dealing with mental health one way or another. We
Right.
either we either help people get help with professionals and group settings and treatment and drugs or whatever they need, or we end up dealing with them when they've gone crazy or run out in the street or committed a crime or got involved with drugs or all those things. People don't seek out to cause trouble or to hurt other people. They're usually reacting to the hurt that is inside of them. And
Yeah.
they're crying out for help. And we just are, for a country that wants to hear stuff, this is what we should be listening to.
Mm.
We should be putting everything into trying to take care of those people. Mental health is a big problem in my family, and I just think that we're missing the boat on it. I know that I know that we've got to be able to find a way to help people reach out and get some help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I appreciate when, we've had actors, we've had directors who come on and like yourself open up about it and talk about it. It's huge because when you have a platform like you do and very small like I do, we want to let people know that it's okay. And if you need
Yeah.
help, it's okay to speak up, and we all need to focus on our own mental health. I know you're a big proponent for charities. You've done stuff with the 9/11 the Widows Fund. You co-founded the Hero charity organization devoted to helping homeless people get back on their feet. Um, Again, you continue this nicest guy in Hollywood kind of thing. What I don't know what drives you to do so much for others.
Well, I had a couple of brothers who were homeless at one point, and there was not about money. It was is about the disconnection, and luckily I was able to see them, and they were able to get back into life and be close to their brothers and sisters, and you know, and have a life, even though those things were hard for them. And so I guess that really is my driving force. You know, it just is astounding to me that the homeless problem is so big right now.
Yeah.
And people always say, well, they want to be homeless. And I go, bullshit. The majority of those people do not want to be homeless. They are struggling. And I just think we just haven't figured out enough good ways to help those people.
Right.
And one time I was giving someone, a homeless person, some money, and a friend of mine said, you know they're going to get drugs with that, right? I go, so would I if I were in this situation.
Right.
I go, I don't. And they go, well, you know, you shouldn't give that to them. I say, I don't give them that money with any conditions on it. I'm not trying to get them to adhere what I want. I'm trying to relieve some of the pain they're in, not to get drugs, but food or something that they need. Get a hotel or whatever it is. It's a huge problem.
True.
Huge.
No. Yeah, that I mean it's, but with people like yourself and so many others, you know, I try to do charity work when I can. It's a huge problem, and but good people are making strides, and hopefully will continue to do so. So I'd be remiss, because I know I would get hell for this if I don't bring this up. One of the roles that obviously a lot of people know you for, and you know, obviously he's kind of springboarded you, was your role in Coming to America, the Eddie Murphy movie. You played Maurice, you know, the McDonald's employee. I know that you are in the sequel, and that you're, you know, they're making a sequel. What has that been like to revisit this character?
Well, you know, I have a tiny part, just like in the, you know, I don't have a big part in either movie, but I had a big enough part that it seemed to make people happy.
Absolutely.
And, you know I'm on lettuce, but soon I'll be on fries, and then assistant manager, and that's when the big bucks start rolling in.
There you go.
I know it's something. I don't have I didn't do all the right words, but, and then when I went back and saw Eddie and Arsenio and John Amos and all these wonderful people again, we all picked up right where we left off. And it was a joyful experience when I did the first one, and it was equally as joyful when I did the second one. I talked to Eddie about stand-up and getting back into stand-up. I had a nice talk with Arsenio and John Amos. You know, everybody is so great and so excited to be doing this wonderful movie that I think is going to be through the roof. I think it's going to, people are going to go crazy for this movie.
Yeah.
And Eddie couldn't have been nicer to me. And Arsenio, you know, I just loved it. I just had so much fun. And throughout my career, people would send cars for me, like limos and town cars, you know, to make sure I got to the event on time, or a TV station or something. And many people who were from other countries would say to me, hey, man, you're the fry guy. I go, yeah. And they always say, I came to this country because of that movie.
Wow.
And I think, wow. I'm amazed by it.
You are a
And they're
part.
so happy.
You're a part of the American dream.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of Eddie's best movies, and I just think, God, he did so many great movies, and he's such a great person. Really a terrific person.
Are you allowed to tell us a little bit about where Maurice is now? I mean, is he still at McDonald's? Can't say.
I signed a thing
The
where
NDA.
there's a guy outside of my house. He's got a hatchet.
Gotcha.
He cuts my hand off and takes all my valuables if I say anything.
Gotcha. Okay. But at least we know we'll get to see you. I think the last I saw is it was supposed to be released by Paramount. They sold it off to because of COVID and these things. They sold it to
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, so we'll be seeing it. I think it's December something. It's coming out.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie, man.
I'm super excited for it. I think that's
It's gonna
so
be
cool.
so good.
So obviously another one that everyone knows you is for the cartoon, and I mean,
Oh, is that so? What do you got? A radio show going on there? What is that? International?
yeah,
Huh?
we're a little.
What's WTF? What does that mean?
It's a water cooler thing. You're fine. I love this. I mean, any thoughts? I'm sure. Right now we're living in an age where everything's getting rebooted, everything's getting remade, sequelized. I mean, I'm sure you've had some thought about maybe revisiting it. You still got the voice.
All right, I'm on WTF. Yes, we're working on trying to bring Life with Louie back, and we're really excited about it. And I can't tell you much more than that.
Right.
We're working on it right now, and there isn't a day that goes by that people, when I'm out, do not mention Life with Louie. And so I'm very proud of that cartoon. And I got to recreate my family, and I got to really, I'm just so, I just know people say, I go, I'm lucky. And they go, you worked hard. I go, I know, but you can work really hard. You still have to get a little lucky.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you mentioned it earlier too. You have to be ready for success, but it
Right.
takes a certain amount of drive, grind, and definitely luck. Absolutely luck. I was pouring through kind of your TV, the stuff you've done, from Family Feud, all the different appearances on different shows. You even did, was it Splash, where you literally took a dive on reality TV, which I'm sure was a huge deal for you. Any of these moments that like really stand out for you?
Yeah, Splash was really great for me. In fact, I always looked at it as my chance to climb the gym rope in school
Right.
that I could never get up. It was my chance to kind of do that. And I dove off, and I'm afraid of heights. And I dove off a 33 meter or 33 foot, 10-meter diving thing, and also dove off one with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's a wonderful friend. And it was so great for me. It was one of the things that invigorated me. And J.D. Roth, who did The Biggest Loser and a lot of shows on TV, he was the executive producer. And God, it was so much fun. I cannot tell you how much fun it was for a fat kid to be on Sports Center.
I mean, there's a question in the chats, and that's what kind of triggered this question, this thought is, for you, what's been the most, how did I end up here moment in your life? Like, how did I find myself in this situation?
I think when somebody says to me, your book or your TV show or your time on Splash or the thing you said that you don't even remember saying sometimes
Right.
changed their life.
Mm.
And I got it from Baskets, a lot of people who say to me, I wish that Christine Baskets was my mom.
Oh, wow.
And And I just, I honored my mom with that part and found all kinds of stuff. But I guess the fact that tonight you wanted to talk to me, a fat kid from the projects of St. Paul, I think it says it all. How lucky I am, how grateful I am. And when I was talking about the homeless, a lot of veterans are homeless.
Yeah.
And we gotta get out there. If there's anything I can do to help that situation, I'm here. I'm ready to go. Whatever I can do to be helpful in any of those situations.
I'm sure somebody will hear it and want that help for sure.
But I guess the thing is that people that don't even know you are thankful for something that you said or did, or you inspired them in some way. And so it's emotional.
Yeah.
It's an emotional thing for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's so easy, I think, for celebrities, for talent, for personalities to say, "Oh, I'm so grateful for my fans," and it's like, yeah, they're happy and they're thankful. But I don't know. It comes across so genuine with you. It's like there's never a question like, are they though, like, or they just want the money, but like it pours out of you, much like the butter. So let me ask you this: you played in the 2006 World Series of Poker in Las Vegas, and what I read was you were eliminated in the first day and received a 10-minute penalty for foul language. Can you take me through that?
First of all, Poker Stars was nice enough to sponsor me to play in that tournament. That was a really nice thing. The second thing, you look at your cards long enough and you're not getting anything, you say, WTF. Well, I actually said it, though. And you can't say that at a poker table. And I got sanctioned. And it was a great experience. That lasted 12 hours. I'm a terrible poker player, but I certainly enjoy it and have a lot of fun. We grew up poor, so we had pennies and we played for pennies and dimes and nickels. And we're always, when you're poor, you look at life differently than when you're not poor. When you're poor, you're trying to get somewhere usually. And I always wanted to get somewhere. Here I am.
Yeah, I completely understand you. Listen, I could talk to you for hours. This has been incredible. But I want to respect your time. I know
We'll do it again.
Absolutely. Anytime you want to sit and talk.
Let's do something again that we can. I had a wonderful time, honestly.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I want to give you the last couple, seconds, minutes here. If there's anything you want to promote, if there's, how can people find you and get connected with you? This is your platform now.
Well, first of all, I hope everyone votes. I think it's a great honor and right to get to vote in this democracy. I hope that if people want to see me, I'm at Louie Anderson on Twitter and Instagram. I think on everything. I got a big Life with Louie page on Facebook. People all over the world who love Life with Louie. I love my Instagram things where I do my workouts. I just always wonder this. Why can't I see these people and they have 100,000 followers. And I go, how do I get 100,000? I think I'm too nice. And people think, oh, he doesn't need it anymore. But I want to get 6 figures of followers. I enjoy social media. I try to ignore all the things that are hurtful. But I really enjoy it. I've connected with people on it. I've done some charity work through it. The holidays are coming, and I remember we used to get a basket from the church or the community center because we were poor with turkey and stuff in it. And I never forgot that. So during these holidays, if you could reach out, there's a lot of people who don't have anything to eat. So I'm
Absolutely.
working with the three square, four square. You know, I always get things mixed up. But here in Vegas, they have a very wonderful program of feeding people. And in Minnesota at Second Harvest and all over the country, there are lots of people. And man, I never forgot kindness that people bestowed on us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate it, and we're gonna help you bump them numbers up. We're gonna get you some followers. We're gonna get all the WTF Nation Radio faithful. We're gonna make sure they all follow and subscribe and engage with you, buddy. I really thank you so much for being on this. We will absolutely do it again anytime you'd like. I'm gonna toss this to break here, but you just hang there so I can talk to you offline. But guys, this has been Louie Anderson, and what else do you want? We'll be right back after the break, guys.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
It's Friday night and I'm feeling low, and you're the reason that I do so. I'll keep on drinking till I comatose, or I pass out on the floor. You got me staring out the window, 8 hours late and you're a no-show. Where I'm from, that's called a no-go. I guess I should have known. I'm sleeping with what I opened, hoping to make it whole. You're always on my mind, but right here, right now, I'm better without you. I've had this for some time, but right now I know that I'm better on my Remember when we used to lay in bed and talk the night away? Today it feels like you have nothing left to say. I pack my bags and collect my things. Take what you want, but you can't have me. Keeping my heart under lock and key wherever I may roam. Sleeping with what I opened, hoping to make it whole. You're always on my mind, but right here, right now, I'm better without you. I've had this for some time, but right now I know that I'm better on my own. Killing me are heading for a disaster. One I cannot ignore. I'm moving forward, you're moving backwards. I can't take anymore. So come on, you're always on my mind, but right here, right now, I'm better without you. You're always on my mind, but right here, right now, I'm better without you. I've had this for some time, but right now I know that I'm better on my
looking up and fading out. Cirrus shapes I found Van Allen right around, pushing through, skin is brown, nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life and it's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? Constellation theme, mapping stars they're meant to be. Geminis are free of suicidal kings. This misty maze of me, so obvious yet never seen. Feeling though the fog will lift to find me lost at sea. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life and it's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? Myself and I am so lost in beautiful, far away from life. But I want your visible feeling to be mine. Oh, I just don't get it. When will your heart beat with my mind? Oh, I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey guys, we're back. Oh my god, how awesome was that? That was absolutely incredible. I'm still shaking with excitement. Radar, I know you're there, buddy. I know you sat there and listened. What do you think?
Kid loved it. I loved it.
I mean,
I absolutely loved it.
how awesome is Louie Anderson?
Just everything I imagined.
Oh,
Honestly, I mean, like I said, you got more time around people like this, like people who actually have the chops. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I don't get on like cool phone calls with people like Louie Anderson. I don't have that opportunity, and you know what? And I'm fine with that generally. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I'm guessing for all the people in this world who are half as cool as Louie Anderson, there's a lot of people who are kind of dicks away from it and don't want anything to do with little old radar. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, like I'm just sitting here and I love it. Some guests, I really hype up in my mind, and others I'm just like, oh, you're a guest, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Louie Anderson was one I really, really look forward to. I'm a huge fan of his work, and like when he told me, when he was like, oh, that guy in Poland or whatever, it's got his like my tattoo on it. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you've landed. You're a star when someone's got you tattooed on them.
Yeah, it's so just wild at, he's had, let's be real.
Oh, I got my glasses on still. Sorry about it.
To have a 40 plus year career in the entertainment industry, spanning from comedy to acting and TV and movies, author of books, stand-up specials, like I said, named one of the 100 funniest comedians of all time. Like, he's had an absorbent amount of success, and for him to be so humble, so just everyman, so kind. You know, how many times do you hear stories of people that the success goes to their head and the money goes to their head and becomes about the drugs and the booze and the sex and the this and the that, and they spiral out of control and end up dead or what have you. So for him to just be just the sweetest guy, the nicest guy. Every article I read talked about like he's just the nicest guy. He's the nicest guy. So to have such success, and I think that's permeated why he's has such a loyal fan base, and that you love him. He's a big teddy bear. You can't not love him, and he's funny, and he's, you know, he's like that uncle you've always wanted. You know, he's just goofy and silly and a lot of fun to be around. So I got to talk to him privately, and that's how we met over the Zoom call, and he was the nicest guy and so giving of his time. And you know, when I was like, "Hey, do you want to be on my show?" I was like, "The answer is going to be no, obviously." But no, he jumped at the chance and was just the sweetest guy about it, and yeah, super encouraging. Just on the break, he's telling me like, "Listen, do me a favor, keep doing the stand up, keep doing the stand up, keep doing the thing," and I'm just like, "Oh man, now, how can I not now?" Like Louie Anderson told me, keep doing it, so like I have to now. But yeah, so that was just
good thing I don't do stand up. He can't tell me to do it. Joke's on you, Louie Anderson.
Radar. Start doing comedy. But yeah,
but the whole thing of it, like, just the whole interaction with them was more than pleasant. I mean, honestly, like that was great. It's just so. Like you said, he really is a sweet man, and I really am happy that because some people play that, you know what I mean? Some people play that I'm just a nice guy, and then you know when they get, you know, when the gloves come off, they're actually
when the cameras are off.
Fun to be around.
Yeah.
And it was nice that it's very very well true. And I you know, I don't know if he's going to listen to this or not, but thank you so much for coming on, sir. It was amazing.
A million times, thank you. Yes. And yeah, and you know, for him, you know, to just be so giving of his time, and you know, to he was just man. There's just people you meet in your life where you're just like, man, that's kind of like if I were to be successful, if I were to ever be successful at anything, like that's the kind of person I want to be. And
well, and especially like in that time, in like, you know, the 80s and 90s and stuff, where you look at guys like Sam Kinison, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of comedians at that time that really, you know, were pretty into that hard stuff, you know, the hard scene of life.
Living hard.
You know?
Living fast, living hard, yeah.
And good, bad, or indifferent, you know, and it wasn't just, you know, Sam Kinison the easy one to pick out because it was very, very obvious, you know, the way he lived his life. But I mean, you look at, God, you know, Mitch Hedberg and guys like that too, you know, I mean, it was a lot of those comedians of that era had substance abuse problems.
I mean,
you know,
you could count them. I mean, my God, you can count the name that, you know. Anyway, we don't need to go down that road, but
no, and I'm so glad that he is not. You know, he is in fact as awesome in real life as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about it.
But yeah, so if you guys hung in there, we appreciate you. I'm on such a high from that conversation. I'm ready to call it a night, man. That was incredible. What an awesome conversation. I look forward to I feel like he was sincere about, you know, wanting to come back again in the future and do it again and
but whatever. He's changing his phone number and everything right now. He's like, screw them.
Like, screw those guys. I'm changing, get a new cell phone. I'm gonna text him and it's like, new phone, who dis?
Right. He's like, burner bitches.
But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And honestly, I had probably 3 pages of questions. I mean, barely, we didn't touch on his writing. We didn't really touch on a lot of his TV and movie work and just so much more. But yeah, that was.
You're like that though. You can't scratch the surface of it in an hour.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd rather hear him talk about his dad and his brothers. I'd rather hear him talk about that stuff than, you know, I IMDb the the rest of it. You know what
Right.
I mean? But
Right.
to,
Absolutely.
to have a genuine conversation with somebody, and that's not just, you know, a celebrity, but with anybody, when you can sit down and talk with anybody
Yep.
candidly for an hour, you can learn so much about them, and that's the high to me. That's the high point. So
Yeah. So if for anybody still listening, definitely give him some love, man. On Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook at Louie Anderson. I mean, let's all give a like and a follow. Show him your love. Tweet at him, message at him. Hey, saw you on WTF Nation Radio. It was awesome. We love you. Sending lots of support. I mean, what an incredible guy. The world should follow him. They should follow his example. So I know I'm gonna make sure I follow all my accounts. And yeah, that's it. Do you want to do the rundown?
sure. Well, you have been listening to Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesdays with CQ and myself, Radar. You'll be going into tomorrow, which is a Wednesday, which is a Donza day. So there is no scheduled activities. Thursday night, come back and you can join us for the lovely rantings of Ice and Spanky on Sergeant's Time. They'll be covering all things active duty, National Guard and Reserve, retiree, all things Army. Talking about the Army. So that's a good show. Listen up. That it's a fantastic program. Please join them. Friday Night Freedom. Cause and Pookie, bringing it to you. God, it's a good show. I'm so happy that they mesh well. It's a good show. Friday Night Freedom's awesome. Saturday and Sunday, the weekend, your Donza days are also our Donza days. Taking them off. Sorry about it. Monday night, do some more ranting with Ice, and this time with Flash on the Monday edition. Talking about all things current events, some politics in there and other things. Because I don't know if anybody's heard this, but in about 2 weeks' time, we're going to be voting for a president and other people and whatnot and what have yous. So please, if you have not yet voted, it'd behoove you to start looking at doing that. If you are not at your home of record, you need to get your absentee ballots in. And if you have some time, please, even if you don't like the choices for president, you're going to have all different kinds of stuff to vote on. There's going to be, I know in South Dakota, you can vote for the right to smoke marijuana. Actually, you can vote for the right for the police to leave you the fuck alone if you smoke marijuana. Difference. There's all different kinds of initiated measures. There's school board, there's local elections, there's state elections. All those things happen in 2 weeks from today. So if you have any interest in your life not getting fucked over by the government, please go out and use your voice to vote. That's all I'm going to say on it. Then next Tuesday, the Halloween edition of Pop Culture Warrior, where you're going to see my fat ass in a costume. And apparently you're going to see
fat asses.
you're going to see CQ in like 30 costumes or something. I don't know. He's just going to mute his camera, turn around and grab some shit off his wall, make a costume out of it.
Yeah, and I believe we're going to be having a special edition election show. That's going down. It won't be Pop Culture Warrior, admittedly. No. Because my politics are my own. But the station, WTF Nation Radio, will fill that block and will have an election show to keep you guys up to date with what's going on and up to the minute information and keep you guys dialed in.
And it's not just going to be a factual, actual show, okay? It's going to be our commentary to the things that are happening.
Oh, sure.
It's probably going to have some rants and raves and some more rants. It's just going to be, God, how many hours? I don't know. It's going to be, yeah. It depends.
It'll be interesting. But, I think was it last year? Last year went, what, 6 hours? Something like that. So, I don't know. It'll be.
Maybe, but hey, I'm not supposed to say but there may be some special guests on as well. So it behooves you to tune into that.
Yes.
And
stay tuned. Like, subscribe, follow. Stay tuned for all the latest.
Tell your buddies.
Share.
if you have the same last name as Radar and you just graduated from EIT today and you're listening to the show, if you keep texting me during it, tell your buddies, introduce them to the nation because they are now part of it.
Yeah.
So the last one was 6 hours and 35 minutes.
Yes, it was. So so I might call in. I might poke my head in, see what's going on, but yeah, I'm gonna take that night off. I'm going to go into my bunker and wait it out.
Well, here's the thing, and I probably should. I was a political science minor in college, so I know a little bit about it. So I should probably at least, I don't know, throw my 2 cents in on it.
I think you should.
And yeah, and I kind of hope Minx. I'm gonna email Minx, but can you just call in and like yell for 20 minutes?
Sure.
That's all she needs to do.
Yeah.
But genuinely, it's going to be a good show. I think it's going to be a good time. And like I said, it is part of our process. And I hope that those who put on a uniform every day, and actually this can have a big impact on your life, on all aspects, whether or not you have to go to war somewhere or your pay and allowances may be affected by this and whom you put into office.
That is
so
correct.
Please use your brain housing group. There's that lump 3 feet above your ass. Try using it, and maybe, I don't know, take 10 minutes out of your fucking day and vote.
God
and I'm not even
bless
telling you
him.
who to vote for. Just make your voice heard. Your voice is just as important as anyone else's. So please do that.
Amen. And this message has been brought to you by the Radar.
Oh, but anyway, yeah. So next week, a Halloween show. Before we get to the election, next week Halloween show. I think I've decided on my costume.
Donald Trump.
No. Actually, the best Donald Trump costume I've seen was that piece of candy corn. That was fucking perfect.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty funny.
That was pretty good.
All right, so what are you gonna? Are you gonna give us a tease? What's it gonna be?
I don't know yet.
Well, you said you think you figured it out.
It's gonna be a surprise. Are you gonna tease your costumes at all?
Yeah, I haven't decided yet. there's a couple.
You just put a sheet over your camera and grab some of your stuff from the back.
Put the helmets on.
Your Thanos glove.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I don't know. I got a couple costumes from years previously. We'll have some fun with it. But yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on the page throughout the week and the social medias throughout the week because I'm gonna come up with some fun stuff we can do. I was thinking like maybe people can send in pictures of their previous Halloween costumes and stuff. We'll put a collage together, show off the audience, and I don't know, something. We're gonna make it interactive. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. This is gonna be something cool, man. Maybe we'll play a game or two, and should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And it'll be a good show just even if people just want to call in. And you know what? Maybe should we have a costume contest?
We could.
Like a little virtual costume contest, like, because we can give everyone a week. Hey, if you get a costume, put it on. Maybe we can
call in, go on video. Yeah, I'm with it. Costume contest, man. We'll put together a prize package and have some fun with it. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Spanky's. Can you do a 3-way? We can absolutely do a 3-way on camera. Jesus.
We can do a 3-way on camera.
A 3-way call on camera, so you can be in costume. Yes, Jesus
We're gonna get
Christ.
all kinds of...
Oh man. At first, I was being funny, and then I actually walked into it. Oh boy. Yes. We can do multiples shots on camera.
You just stop.
I'm just gonna stop. Tune in next week to see what the hell happens, because who knows at this point.
Multiples.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, yeah. Call it a call. Right. Thanks, guys. You guys have been watching Pop Culture Warrior. We will see you next week. Halloween special. Shots.